Hello, men. Hello, MGTOWs. Today, I'd like to talk about Calhoun's mouse experiment and some of the fatal flaws that I see in Calhoun's mouse experiment. I'll give a little brief history in case somebody out there doesn't know about this. I can't imagine that there isn't somebody in MGTOW that doesn't know about this. In the early 1960s, Calhoun did a mouse experiment. It was a 9-foot cage, 2.7 meters square, 4.5 feet high generally, and they had tunnels in the cage with food hoppers and water and everything that the mice would need. 4 sets of mice were put in the mouse cage, and they began to breed. It doubled in 55 days. The population reached 620 by day 315, which the population growth dropped markedly. What we've seen during these days, between the days of 315 and 600, there was a breakdown in social structure, social norms among the aberrant and the behaviors of the mouse, and there was expulsion from the general group of mice, and there became a segment of the mouse males that became known as the beautiful ones. We refer to these ones as the MGTOWs, and the rest of the population is down there still trying to breed. They're resorted to homosexual behaviors. The mice didn't know who to mate with anymore. The breakdown of society led to the females no longer being able to birth. But before that, the females were no longer able to, at about 315 days, the females weren't allowed to, they weren't able to take care of their young anymore. Some kind of psychological thing happened to the females at that point, and it ended their society at about I can't remember. They say 4,000 mice or something, but I can't remember. But during this period of time, the society disintegrated into nothing, and no children were born after that. But the beautiful ones are the ones that MGTOWs are interested in. The beautiful ones usually used a higher elevated spot where they got away from the mouse in the general floor, and that's a spatial relations thing. They did no longer fight with the mice, or if we're using it as a MGTOW thing, we'll say that they're no longer going to fight with the men to have mating rights to the females, because that's over with. And that's sort of what we're seeing in society now. There's a breakdown of the social functions and the dating roles and the way women are acting, and we see an uprise of violence all around us with women and their inability to raise the children. But one fatal flaw with the mice experiments is, and this is where MGTOW takes over, there were 4 walls that held the mice inside of the container. When we start thinking about this experiment, we start thinking about MGTOWs. MGTOWs aren't held within the container. MGTOWs, the beautiful ones, can leave and go out among society, or go out to what we call survivalists, going galt. That's a side of MGTOW. Another side of MGTOW is the survivalist side. They can PUA. That's another side. That's experiencing, the ability to mate without the ability to reproduce, or trying to extract the ability to reproduce, or, in other words, not pass on your genetic makeup to progeny. So MGTOWs are not confined within those walls. We are confined within this planet, but this planet has enough space in it yet to develop our own societies. And what we hear a lot about with MGTOW is we're going to start developing our own cliques, our own groups closer to home. As MGTOWs grow, the beautiful ones, the MGTOWs, will begin to start their own groups within this world. They'll build a social structure around them, which men do very good. We build a social structure around us. We build the houses, we build cars, we build bridges and streets and everything to make our lifestyle easier. Water, electricity, all those things. Now left to their own devices the rest of the mice, or the MRAs to say, and the blue pill, the PUAs, that are still trying to hump on the infertile women out there, or the crazy women. We see a lot of craziness out there, that are still trying to derive some kind of value from the social situation that is instilled in our society right now. They're going to do the things they're going to do. But it doesn't mean MGTOW cannot move beyond those walls. And that's what we talk about when we're talking about walking away. We're not stuck within these walls. MGTOW takes over where the mice failed us. The mice don't have these limbic systems that we have. Mice don't have the brain system that we have. There is another step here. That's what a lot of MGTOWs are calling this MGTOW point 2 now, because we're realizing that we have no walls around us. We're realizing that there are no walls to contain us. So MGTOWs, I guess what we're talking about here is what social limits, them are the representation of the walls. What social limits are imposed on you? Them are rules, norms, laws that play values and play significant roles in social limits. That's it. It's a frame of thought. When you move past through MGTOW, you've already busted those walls down, and you can move outwards to the edges of society where there are less rules, less norms. And when we talk about norms, we're talking about marital norms. Them are easy hurdles to jump. Laws, some laws, reducing the taxes you pay in proportion to the amount of revenue you're bringing in. The revenue you bring in. Don't play by the rules when you play by the rules with revenue, you're playing a rigged game. And that's why we hear with a rigged game a lot. Them rules are designed to keep you in the confines of them social structures. What you have to do is find those places where you can accumulate wealth. Those places like Bitcoin. We look at Vention as a very good example of this. He uses Bitcoin. He grows his own vegetables. Me, I make my own bread. I roast my own coffee. I do the things I need to do, where all I need to do is have flour delivered to my house, and that includes making my own spaghetti noodles, making my own pasta, making my own breads, making all those things where I don't have to pay additional taxes and service fees for those, which increases my wealth. I do not drive anymore. I'm not bound by those rules where I have license, but I use that as an ID, not a driver's license. It's just an ID now. I save thousands and thousands of dollars by doing that a year. I save thousands and thousands of dollars by making my own flour products. We have to move beyond those laws that play a value that you place a value on in life. And those social limits, they limit you. These things that you want limit you. You can still have the things that you want, but don't let them limit you. Don't let them take over your life. Like, if you want a boat, go get a boat. Jesus, that's a single male's dream, Go get a boat and, get the car you want. As long as you're not playing by the rules of those games that are preset rules. Don't play... my father always said, do not play billiards in another man's billiard hall. Play billiards in your hall. If you want to make that bet, make sure the table's right. Make sure you have the edge. And that's what we're talking about, social limits here. We cannot move outside of the limits of this earthly piece of rock that we're bound to. But we can move mentally outside the limits of the walls that confine you. And that's traditionalism, gynocentrism. You've already taken that leap. You've already done those things. MGTOW is the next answer. It is step 2 in itself. It's provided in MGTOW to be step 2, the move beyond. You don't have to come around here to get that. I mean, just walk out your front door, start a new job, start a new way of thinking, and you have transcended those boundaries. Like in a mouse utopia, those mice were stuck by the confines of human laws, which were represented in a wall. That's where the gynocentric wants you. We move beyond that. Thanks a lot, MGTOWs, and you guys have a nice day.